Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today we're playing e4 as per flipping usual. We see a French defense, so we're going to go for a Steiner variation against the French defense here with the move c4, of course. We're going to pre-move, or rather just move, and play c takes d5, and then I'm picking up my queen here. Why the hell am I picking up my queen? I haven't moved a single minor piece yet. Why would I play queen to b3, the ORTHOSCHNAPP gambit? Ortho meaning something vaguely along the lines of correct or right or proper, I guess. I'm inferring that just from my knowledge of the word orthochronous in relation to Lorentz transformations. Shout out special relativity. And schnapp, I believe, as I play bishop c4 and put on some very nice pressure to f7, means like gambit in German, I think. I mean, it sounds German enough. I think a schnapp is maybe some kind of like almost trick, I guess. Lautmalend für ein schnelles zu schnappen, zu klappen und das damit verbundene klappende Geräusch. Okay, so I don't speak German, so that didn't make any sense to me, but effectively this is a very exciting gambit. Let's stop diving into the etymology and let's get on with playing some brutal attacking chess. We've played knight to c3. Our opponent played queen e7, which is in fact the best move. You're defending the f7 pawn with obviously your queen, and you're defending this e4 pawn as well, which maybe can come under some fire. Then after knight f6, I get to play a gorgeous move indeed, and that move is d4, allowing them to take en passant with a discovered check. I mean, how can this make any sense whatsoever? Well, the point of this opening is just ultimate development over everything. Right now, I mean, first of all, we can block said check by developing. They spend another move taking another pawn, as they did in the first place with that original ORTHOSCHNAPP gambit, them taking on e4. They now take on d3, spending yet another move, where we in response can just develop another piece. That's twice that that's happened now. We also defer the pawn away from f3 so we can smoothly play knight to f3. Here, d2 makes some sense, because I clearly can't take with the bishop. However, I think I've seen this exact position before, and I'm fairly certain just a mature king f1 is precisely what the doctor ordered. Then recapturing this to play rook e1 is actually quite a major threat. The queen being kind of rooted to the spot here, the e-file being nice and open, our superior development, our pressure here that we have on f7 is fairly immense, and I think if I just take this, I mean, now we're only down one pawn. We of course get to recapture that pawn. There is no way they hold on to the pawn after we play e4, of course. So it's not as drastic of a gambit as it may seem. They bring the knight out to tickle my queen. I guess now if I go rook e1, ooh, this might have made some sense actually. Yeah, I go rook e1 and you can just take this. I take with check, you get the rook, I get the knight, but this clearly sucks. Or I guess I take the bishop there, but point still stands. I'm of course going to have to move my queen. However, I guess if I play queen b5, there is just this, because the queen holds the pony here, unfortunately. So I don't have any checks. Probably leaving my queen on this diagonal, where the bishop here is, I don't know. Doesn't necessarily make a load of sense. Queen c2 seems most natural. The question then becomes, like, I guess they just get to play bishop e6. And normally the idea is that I can then immediately take on b7 after we kind of force them to play bishop e6 by playing rook e1 here. But I guess the queen won't have her watchful eye on that square anymore, which kind of sucks. And the knight just defends that square. This is very annoying, actually. Right, I will go queen c2. I don't want to just be dilly-dallying without good cause to. I still think my position's reasonable. I think my king maybe doesn't make as much sense as it might. Yeah, they do just play bishop e6. This is a very accurate kind of refutation almost, which I have to be honest, I'm not best pleased with. If this and you take like this with check, okay, that's a terrible idea. I think I might have to take here. If I give this check, you just play c6. I don't want to go here. I don't want to then go here, of course. I could play bishop e2. It feels as though that is not ideal. It does keep stuff on the board though. If I take like this, queen takes, I can play rook e1 and things should be quite problematic there. Yeah, knight here I can just take. Okay, sweet. So here, queen takes sucks. Knight takes, though, is quite obviously just a decent move. Okay, I think I'm going to make this trade. Not overjoyed about it. Dreaming of ideas maybe of bishop g5 and knight d5, setting up the pin there. I'm thinking they're going to castle, which definitely makes some sense. I do have this open c-file, though, and maybe rook c1 and some kind of knight b5 makes a lot of sense in the near future. So I think, honestly, if I just get on with developing my pieces, maybe play like g3, king g2 to bring this rook out, because clearly, I don't know, this king's not doing fantastically here. I could also play h4, rook h3. That would be quite amusing. Right, knight f3 is a bit of a no-brainer to start, I think. Maybe I should have gone for ideas of like bishop g5 quicker, set up a pin. The thing is, in bringing their queen kind of like in the way of the bishop, this drastically slows down the development of said bishop. They are only up one pawn, by the way, just to clarify. They do now castle. But I don't know, we've got targets, we've got ways to go after the king. My king probably is also leaving a little to be desired here by way of where exactly it's positioned. If I go knight b5, I'm tickling this. If you play this and I play a4 and you take and I take, that's probably a terrible idea. You could quite easily run, I'd imagine. So knight b4 here kind of just sucks, honestly. Bishop e3 makes sense, but also I'm not addressing this rook at all. Man, if my rook could just jump over here, I'd be having a fantastic time right now. It's almost as if playing king f1 was maybe a little dodgy. I don't mind g3 and king g2 though. It's a little slow, but it's not terrible. And you don't exactly have a light square bishop to cook me on those light squares. You do, however, have the ability, we kind of get to an opposite side castled position. Clearly I wouldn't have actually castled, but you could play h4 quite quickly, and that might end up being viciously problematic. But king e2 is just ridiculous, and I need to move this rook. h4, rook h3 doesn't strike me as the most insane thing I could do, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna address that problem like this. I don't like playing g3, putting my king on g2, and just giving weak light squares and a hook to my opponent. I'm chilling right here. They're gonna develop their bishop this way. Be my guest, dude. Absolutely be my guest. My rook's coming up and over like this, and maybe sliding across. What if I play a4 as well? We go for a real crab approach, playing h4 and then a4. That would be quite funny. What am I actually achieving with this? No idea, but, you know, for the spirit of the game, for the spirit of the crab, I'm channeling the spirit of the crab here. I'm probably giving them far too much time to do some decent stuff that does not advance my position, but frankly no one cares. I don't know, bring my knight here. If this and you take like this, I can go bishop here, right? That probably makes some sense. Okay, I'm gonna start with this because I want to genuinely be able to bring my rook across. This little sort of Houdini-esque escape, playing h4, rook h3, and then sliding the rook across. I don't know how, you know, to what extent I feel that it's objectively extremely sound. I can bring the knight back this way. They have just kicked it. Okay. If here and pawn takes, that kind of sucks, but they can just take with the queen, I think. I then would get this with tempo, though. Okay, I'm going to go here, because I don't think you want to take with the pawn and split this. But if you take with the queen, unless I'm being exceedingly stupid, I think I'm now threatening mate and also a7. Now, you know, you can solve problems, but then I can create more problems. Whoa. Bishop e3's got to be an absolute no-brainer here, right? Surely. Hold on, are you lost? Queen c6, there's just this. Queen d6, I just take the queen. Queen here, I guess, is the only move, therefore. Do I just play b4? You need to hold this. Can I just play b4? The queen has nowhere to go, because if you go here, I just mate you. No flipping way. b4, does that win the game? Oh my lord. You're losing your queen. I think they're going to resign. b4, the king chilling on f1, the crab, oh... I mean, that's how you do it, baby. Let's see how accurate that was. I would imagine the engine's going to sort of have a few things to say there. But just to reiterate, if they take this pawn, it's mate. If they go here, they're losing the queen, and then it's going to be mate. If they take my knight, I mean, they're losing the queen. And if they go here, it's just mate. That is a brutal, brutal way to finish the game. And I think probably, I mean, queen b6 is clearly a mistake. But what did you have here? Just defend this in a more appropriate way, I guess. Maybe some knight d5, but I get to win this. I don't know. I think taking this, they probably should have taken the pawn. That's my verdict. Well, let's analyze the game. Okay, so here we are in the analysis with just the perfect story. 90% accuracy, 3 gorgeous inaccuracies. 3 absolutely gorgeous inaccuracies. We wear all 3 as badges of honor, of course. Inaccuracies being the best kind of move. Although knight g5, at this point in the game, it was -4. Jesus. Because they have knight d4 here, apparently, which I guess is kind of problematic. Not completely obvious that it should be minus like nearly 5. Right, let's go through the game. So e4, we go for this ORTHOSCHNAPP gambit, of course. Queen to b3. There we go. That's the first inaccuracy. Takes bishop c4. The queen comes to defend. Knight c3 here. d4, this is all prep, by the way. d4 being the best move here, thank you very much. Allowing en passant with check to play bishop e3. Again, all prep, going into an intentionally dubious position. Then here, and I believe king f1, right? Surely. Yes, fantastic stuff. I think I got a win over someone who was nearly 2000 ECF rated over the board, which is the English Chess Federation, so it's roughly equivalent to FIDE, I think. I don't know exactly how it compares, but it's that kind of, like a 2000 ECF player is a strong player. I think I might be, I don't know, I played for my university in my first year a little bit, and I don't know, I think my ECF rating was maybe like 1860, 1870, something like that. I don't know, maybe I've improved. I'm very excited. Once I finish my degree, I'm going to play some chess tournaments and see if I have some potential to be a good player. You'd hope so, given that I have a chess YouTube channel. Anyway, yeah, I think in that game I had this exact position. This was like 2 years ago, and I played king takes. Because I just thought, I guess, like rook d1, king c1, and I think I had a worse position all game, and then somehow freakishly got an endgame where there was like a trick and I managed to pull off the win. But I remember from that analysis that king f1 is in fact the best move. They develop their knight. Taking here is not a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really see exactly what this was doing until it was maybe slightly too late. Like knight c5 to attack this, to release the pressure off this so you can play bishop e6, so rook e1's not a problem. Like I didn't really see all of that. In this position I should have just gone like knight f3, and I mean, again, we'd have had a massive lead in development. And if knight c5, then bishop c5, queen c5, and the problem is that f7 ends up hanging. Okay. So actually that knight c5 resource was not possible if I just left the bishop here. So I could have developed, I maybe then could have taken like this and gone rook e1, and I don't know, maybe even still h4, rook h3, lift the rook up and over. In the future, I will endeavor to remember that if I get to this position and my opponent plays knight b to d7. Instead, they went for this very accurate knight c5. I mean, this is almost maybe prepped my opponent? I don't know. I mean, it seemed like quite an accurate refutation. So bishop e6. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, they played like perfectly until this point. And then the you know, the tactical potential energy that had been building exploded on their face. Anyway, bishop e6, it was correct to trade. Knight f3, okay, this was all good. You're lying. It flashed up there for a moment. God damn it. Oh, h4? No, it's gone. Okay, so Engine's final verdict is that g3 was actually significantly stronger, but h5 is the best move then. And at this point, I've got to play h4. I mean, I don't know, I probably would have been safe here. I wouldn't have had a good time, to be completely honest. Their knight can just sit on g4, probably. This looks like it kind of sucks. So I was thinking more along the lines of let's play h4 and, you know, get the rook nice and active. Then a4, for the culture, as Kendrick Lamar said in the Hearts Part 5. We had to hit him, of course, with the delayed crab. And then bishop here, this was actually a major mistake because they had knight d4. Of course, I just play queen d1. I don't want to hang this, and I probably don't want to... I guess if I go to c1, is there any difference? Ah, yeah, is that a problem? Yeah, just knight b3. Okay, so queen d1's effectively forced here. Then just rook h e8, and I mean, I guess I am getting absolutely toasted here. My knight's doing nothing. I don't have any time to really make use of the activity that I did end up eventually making use of with the queen on here because you just kicked me back. Yeah, this would have sucked very badly. Namely just because these rooks are so powerful. Okay, opponent didn't go for that. Instead, they kicked my knight. I traded. And taking with the queen was correct. Knight here, that is then a massive blunder. What should they have played? Knight d5 was playable. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, knight d5, and then I guess if I take here, we see king b8. Knight b5 is forced. And I guess we've won back the pawn, but... okay, the attack's probably a little slow from here. I am thinking, though, that, like, rook h3, slide a rook across, maybe bishop e3, do some stuff over here. Maybe even start pushing this pawn. Like, there was definitely an attack building, but somehow, I guess my king just really isn't that safe on f1. I say somehow, clearly. I mean, I didn't castle. Why am I surprised that it's not safe? But instead, queen b6, they greedily, gluttonously attempt to defend both of these problems. Bishop e3, the queen moves. b4. What a gorgeous way to end the game. And of course, had they taken, we were going to be able to checkmate them right there. So we end up picking up the win. I think I'm now on 22.44. All three of my ratings, Bullet, Blitz, and Rapid, have been chilling at 22.50 recently. You know what? This video isn't quite long enough just yet. I want to add a little bonus Bullet segment to the end. We're going to just win a beautiful game of Bullet, just to put a cherry on top of the video. That's not just a trying to win their queen kind of move. That is the Portuguese gambit. You know, that's not just hope chess. Are you going to resign here? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I don't think that one counts. We'll go again. We'll put 2 cherries on top there. That was a rather small cherry. Come on, play flipping knight e2. This is something that I've been working on recently. Oh my, for crying out loud, just take my gambit. Or rather accept my gambit, I guess. Okay, unfortunately they don't. I'm going to secure this and maybe play for this. Go in here, get rid of the knight, and just put my knight on d4. I genuinely am a major fan of this. I don't know. It seems very reasonable. Please castle. Please castle. I will play like knight e6 or maybe even knight b3 works, I guess. So you can't castle. The knight is just looking at this threat of a fork. No? Check? I guess you're going to come in and take here. Why did I do this? What if I go here? I dare you. I absolutely dare you. Oh... I think the cherry might indeed be firmly placed on top of the video. Hold on, I might as well go on a little streak here. I'm 2 for 2 right now. We could just hit 2300 to end this video. This would be kind of a random insertion into just a normal rapid video, but flipping alien gambit, baby. Come on. Come on now. Bishop d3, I guess, I think. I don't really know how to play this properly still, somehow. Bring the rook. Play knight e1, I think. And then, I guess, we're going... Is it queen g4? I feel like this is problematic, right? For black, of course. What if I kick the knight? That probably sucks. If you go here, I'm just going to go back. Or not. Literally just going to lift the rook and go up. Okay, maybe not. Or if I play rook h3 and just try and, I don't know, make the most of this pin, maybe. I guess I can take here. That was stupid as hell. Why on earth would I have done that? God damn it. Now they have this. Yeah, that's kind of a major problem. Whoa. Here, mate threat. What are you going to do? Take with the rook? Probably again you have the... Oh, no, you don't because it is mate. Okay, nice. I'll go here and here just to prevent that push. I've got 2 pawns for the... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, my lord. Where's that come from? Where the hell did that come from? Now I can take here with check and then go just h4, I guess. Why not? And then maybe just step back here. You probably just take this, but then, I don't know. You're getting kind of brutalized here, right? I'm going to go here. Don't exactly have... ages. Excuse the sirens. Probably shouldn't have traded the queens there, honestly. Oh, okay. Well, I clearly didn't really regret it that much. Here. Here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those were some freaky games. I'm not entirely sure why I just included this at the end of this video, but hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. If I feel like the rapid game was a little short, I might just cherry on top it with a few bullet games at the end. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. It would go a long way to supporting the channel, and you will get a bonus weekly video every single Sunday of some of the finest chess that you maybe will ever see. You'll also get your name at the end of my videos, immortalized in such masterpieces as this one. But if you're not interested, I nevertheless vastly appreciate your viewership. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.